This is really great. This is awesome. This is the first number of Métal Hurlant, released in the beginning of 1975 by Jean-Pierre Dionnet, Philippe Druyet and Möbius. And we start off with Möbius in collaboration with Druyet. And this man can draw. This is really beautiful. And then we've got a little funny story by Druyet. Dionnet discusses some science fiction novels. And then we've got Möbius again with Arzac, which is like a masterpiece that starts here in Métal Hurlant number 1. Then we've got Philippe Druyet again with his epic fantasy, science fiction, Lovecraftian nonsense, really. But it's one of my favorite artists. And then we've got Richard Corbin with a nice little short story in his usual style. I really love this. And then we've got Möbius again with a funny story. Then the start of Major Fatal of Garage Hermétique. And this is Jean-Claude Gall with Jean-Pierre Dionnet, medieval masterpiece a la Don Lawrence. If you can't afford the first issue of Métal Hurlant, you can also buy these collections. Métal Hurlant number 2, numero 2, with a beautiful cover by Philippe Druyet. And it's a bit of his issue, actually, because we start with Gale, which I've also got in color in a standalone bande dessinée. And it's beautiful, yes. Then a lot of text by Möbius, a story by Mandrika and Druyet, funny story, a bit Flash Gordon-esque. Then we have Harzac, which is like the sequel to the first issue, very beautiful. Then Jean-Claude Gall with Jean-Pierre Dionnet doing Les Armées Conquérants, which is still fabulous, a great medieval masterpiece. I love this epic style of drawing, the black and white. It's beautiful. Dionnet, again, about science fiction novels, and Richard Corbin in space with beautiful popping colors. Yeah, I love that everything is science fiction in these early Métal Hurlants. Then a short story by Druyet. And we've got Major Gruber, La Garage Hermétique by Möbius. And it's already finished. See you next time. And we're at the 3rd issue of the original Métal Hurlant. And this one came out in the 3rd quarter of 1975. And it's got a beautiful cover by Jean Solé. And it starts with a very funny story out of the Arzac tales. Then we've got Druyet with Alexis, who was a magnificent artist who died too young. We've got the beginning of Den by Richard Corbin, which is actually quite legendary if you haven't heard of it, by the new Dark Horse books. Then we've got the life story of Druyet and his influences. Barbarella was a big deal. Here he is in a Jean Rollin movie, of which he also designed the poster. This is Gottlieb and Druyet. Vagabond and Lamp. It just came out in Circus, which is a fabulous French comics magazine as well. Tardy with steampunk nonsense. Dionnet talks about William Blake in the Bible. Then we've got Patrick Lesueur. Mandrika with his parody of Flash Gordon, and Gall and Dionnet with Les Armées Conquérants. You can buy La Bande d'Arfou, it's early work by Möbius, and we end with a gag by the man. We've arrived at the 4th issue of Métal Hurlant, which appeared at the end of 1975, and it's got a beautiful cover. This Monkey's Gone to Space by Möbius, and an introduction by him as well, argumenting against a scenario, against a plot, just writing the story on the flow, and I agree. These are the adventures of Iris by Druyet and drawn by Alexis, wonderful Alexis. Then we've got Arzac in the desert with a cool car and some strange, funny looking characters. The further unwinding of this fable is very nice, as usual. We've got a new artist, Francis Mas with Le Poulet, surrealism. Then we've got Van Baudet, an American underground artist with Cobalt 60, which reminds me of that Wizards movie by Ralph Bakshi. We've got a new artist, Alan Vos, with wonderful art. Maybe he draws body proportions a bit too big, but he's got exciting page layouts. Richard Corbin's next chapter in Den, and a beautiful Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Then we've got Gottlieb with some sexual nonsense. Philippe Druyet on a motorcycle. The first story by Serge Clair. After Dionnet wrote to his mother to say that everything's gonna be alright, he's gonna make it in Métal Hurlant. And then we've got some Madrika, Mas, and that's it. Oh yes, you can order an epic Druyet poster.
Bob Fish presents